The third Sunday of Easter. We have had the accounts in John's Gospel of Jesus appearing to Mary Magdalene, John, and Peter, and then last Sunday appearing to the 11, well, really the 10, and then Thomas showed up, needing to be confirmed that Jesus really had risen, and then they were sent. As I have been sent to you, so I send you to others. Today we have another one. It's from Luke's Gospel, and it's a very, very famous. In a way, it's trauma and drama together. Trauma, the death of Jesus, the loss of their center. Trauma. An unusual thing about trauma is the sadness, the loss, the darkness. Let us return to what we were doing before the trauma. Let's go back to the security and the safety. So the apostles went fishing because that's what they were used to. And today's gospel, after the trauma of the crucifixion, they say, well, let's go back to where it was safe. Let's go back to what we knew, what we did well. And maybe they were fishermen, or they were going back to their home where it was secure. Then the drama of they're walking along and they're looking down, downcast. They had been abandoned, or they had failed. Their awareness of darkness was all around them. And Jesus comes alongside them, and they don't recognize him. And they have this dramatic discussion and about, you must not know everything that's going on in Jerusalem, and we saw it all, and it was awful. And Jesus then explains to them in words, describes how this Jesus, who they trusted, really was the fulfillment of their scriptures. So then they have the drama of, no, please, come in, stay with us. And Jesus says, okay. There is a little cynical expression that I heard recently. An oral commitment isn't worth the paper it's written on. Well, if it's oral, it's not written. So oral things are just words. Sometimes you trust words. But what's written, a treaty, a constitution, a document, what's written remains. What I have written, I have written. What is written remains. It's an old Latin phrase. So Jesus comes in, and this is the beauty of today's liturgy. Jesus comes in, and while they were at table, he took bread, blessed it and broke it, and gave it to them, Eucharist. And they recognized him in the breaking of the bread, and he disappears. Why? Why didn't he stay with them? It's this. The early church, the Jewish community, was encouraged by the relating of things by words. We have seen the Lord. He has risen. And so Jesus talked to them in words. It's an oral commitment written in the flesh of Jesus, in the blood, in the writing of his life. So they're talking about it. And then they go back after they have this encounter where Jesus is with them and then goes away. Why did he go away? Because faith. Not having proof, but the proof of, yes, we saw him. And they go back to the Jerusalem and they have heard too that the Lord has appeared. It's an oral relationship, a commitment. But Jesus says, okay, I will be committed to you in the breaking of the bread, as well as the words. We are word and deed people. We say gestures and words. We give a gift and we say what it is. This is a loving Valentine's or Christmas or birthday. I do it. I give it to you in a gift. Words aren't enough. Words and gestures. So Jesus comes to them, in a way, the liturgy of the word was when they were walking along and he explains the scripture. Then they go in and have the Eucharist, words and gestures, which is the way we celebrate, word and gesture. Now the Eucharist. Why did he disappear? He did and he didn't. He rose into them, as it does when we receive the Eucharist, and when we receive God's grace. Resurrection, that we rise above our definition of ourselves. You can have any kind of definition of yourself, but we of the Eucharistic tradition are defined. We don't define ourselves. He defines us. You are my body. And I want you. I disappear into you. And I take flesh in you. And you go back, recovering from the trauma, and having experienced the drama, now go back to the community and talk. Yes, words, but how you live in community, how you live the Eucharist, how you live what you believe. So did the breaking of the bread, they recognized him in the breaking of the bread. That's our call. Does he take recognition in the breaking of the bread and the sharing of the bread in our lives? Does the Eucharist, does the resurrection continue to take place as we receive and then go into the drama of our lives? Not the recovery of after trauma. We live the drama of his resurrection in us. It's not enough to believe that Jesus is in the bread. The amazing thing, in my mind, is not that the bread and wine can change into the body and blood of Christ, but that you and I are changed into the body and blood of the risen Lord. And we're not just words, but it takes flesh in the document of our lives, our gestures, how we live the Eucharist, how we leave the church, how we go to adoration. It's all about mission. It's all about distribution. It's all about the breaking of ourselves, not just the fracturing, but the redefining. I'm not just me. I am what Jesus said I am. I am one who is recognized in how I live the breaking of the bread. That's the church. That's the individuals. Are we recognized in the breaking of the Eucharist in our lives? That's Easter. That's living, making the bread his body in the living of our lives.